And good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of Around the Block Live, where we dive into HBCU sports, news, and culture. I am here with my co host, Ken Clark of Tiger Talk TV,
Hello, everyone.
Zoe Phillips of Tiger Talk TV,
What's going on, everybody?
and Mike Reed of The Mike Reed Show. How you guys doing today?
Pretty good. Can't complain.
Well,
Doing
today
pretty
we're
good.
bringing you an exciting game of the week. The highly anticipated matchup between Grambling State and Jackson State. The stakes are high. These are two HBCU powerhouses that are going to collide on the field down in the hole this weekend. So we've got all the analysis, highlights, and predictions lined up for you. But we have a special guest.
That's right, Timona. Listen, hey, everybody. First of all, welcome back. Before we jump into the action, we're going to dissect the Grambling versus Jack State game. We got a very special guest joining us today. Someone who knows a little something about championships, an elite in football. He's a former NFL linebacker with the New York Giants, two-time Super Bowl champion and College Football Hall of Fame inductee. On top of that, he's enjoyed a 30-year career in television broadcasting, covering everything from college football to professional sports. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome Mr. Gary Reason to the show. Reasons.
Great to see you there. How's everybody doing? This is wonderful. I'm surrounded here. This is a great shot.
Hey, Gary, welcome to Around the Block. You are officially surrounded.
I am definitely. This is the block, and it's all around me. So this is good TV right here.
So, Gary, thank you so much for being here with us today. It's truly an honor to have someone of your caliber on Around the Block. Before we get into the Grambling versus Jackson State matchup, could you share with us a little bit about your journey from the NFL to the broadcast booth and your reason for covering college football, particularly the FCS?
Yeah, really. I've had a really good run in sports. I've been in football, guys, for over 50 years. So, starting as a young kid and played my way through high school. I went on to play college football at Northwestern State, an FCS program in Natchitoches, Louisiana. You guys are probably pretty familiar with those parts. So that was my start in life, and so football was going to be kind of my escape from I grew up in Crowley, Texas, a suburb of Fort Worth. And, that was what I was going to do. So everything turned out well in Natchitoches at Northwestern State. I was the first ever three-time All-American at the FCS level. Wound up being a fourth-round draft pick of the Giants, and we got up at the Giants and had tremendous success there. We were very successful with our team. We had some great players, some great talent on our teams, and a couple of Super Bowl championships. So I pull across here, and so here's one of them. This is Super Bowl 21. So I tease people all that. So I keep those well hidden behind me. I'm a big guy, so it's anyways. So it's been great. So for football in the NFL, I played 9 years. Got out very, very healthy. You didn't have any major injuries, no surgeries. I'm all good, and I can talk. So I got into the broadcast booth immediately out of there, and started with ABC Sports and covered the country for college football. And it's been a great run. So I've been with ABC, been with Fox, ESPN, and today I cover the FCS, and I help with the FCS. I'll cover the FCS National Awards. So if you know the National Awards, they're all HBCU guys that are our namesakes, and it's tremendous to be able to present all of those awards every single year. I've been involved with the National Awards presentation for over 25 years, and really for the last 10 years, I've been the host, and I'm now the executive producer, and we put it on television. So we've got that going for us for the last 4 or 5 years now, and it's been a real great success. And so last season, we created an opportunity for me to go out on campus, and we actually present a national team or player of the week award every week. So I work with Stats Perform, and Stats Perform has got great coverage of the FCS. And we've also added a new partner this year at Stats Perform, and that's Urban Edge Network. So UEN has done a nice job of bringing their brand of HBCU Plus programming to us, and then we share that out across what we're doing. So it's a great partnership, and that is one of the reasons why I was at Jackson State this week, because we selected them as our HBCU Plus National Team of the Week. And I go out every week now to one of those. We have 7 awards that we give out on a weekly basis. So I go to one of those campuses in the FCS level. Last year, I visited 13 universities at the FCS, and I traveled 25,000 miles. And so I'm gearing up again here. I got a couple thousand miles under my belt the first 3 weeks of the season. But this last week, being at Jackson State, it was a fun visit.
That's outstanding. Go ahead, Zo.
I was going to ask, was it your very first time actually going to Jackson, Mississippi, and also Jackson State University?
I have been through Jackson, and I have not, really, a lot of people go through Jackson because of the highway system, but and that was my case. Now, I had been to Jackson last year because I flew into Jackson and I drove to Alcorn. So that was kind of a little spot there. So really, but I had a chance to drive around the city, and with it in a few different spots. We went to the stadium. We obviously went on campus, saw the Walter Payton Center and all the facilities there. Watched the team practice, and I love what Coach has got going on there as far as practicing with the club. And it's basically a system where he's brought in a lot of know-how, kind of trying to keep people moving and getting the most out of these guys, and really teaching them instead of having guys stand around and watch a lot of practices. If way back when coaches were putting practices together, it was like focusing on 10 or 11 guys at one time and 80 guys standing on the sideline. So those days are gone. This is really high-level focused practice, and that's exactly what they need to do to improve. Reps, practice, and that's how they get a lot better program.
So you were at the highest level, and you emphasized that you were drafted from an FCS program of Northwestern State. Can you give some advice to some of the young student athletes that are going through the ranks of the FCS level on how to become great and stand out to the scouts and how to get drafted from an FCS program?
Well, first of all, your heart's got to be in it. You've got to be able to love what you do. And if you don't love the game, that's something you may not be a fit for you, because you have to really appreciate the competitiveness, the sport, and really all the different things around it. Myself, I gravitated towards the knowledge side of it. I was kind of a brighter guy. I wasn't the most gifted faster foot athlete that you could ever imagine out on the football field as a linebacker. I had a good enough speed, but really my anticipation, I took that as being a strength of my game as a linebacker in the NFL, and really it helped me along. And so you've got to find your spot. You've got to find how you can fit and how you can make those tools that you have as an athlete, as a player, fit for what your position is. And so everyone, there's some of the things that are constants, and there's things that the NFL scouts are looking for. That's size, speed, and different things. If you have some of the intangibles that separate you from that group, that's a good thing. And if you can stand out from the crowd, so to speak, with some intangibles, I think that might be something that could help an FCS student athlete, as well as any other athlete at the collegiate level. Trying to separate yourself from the total. We've got a bunch of programs playing. Over 700 colleges and universities play football in America today, guys, and that's a lot of players. So basically, 70,000 college football players are playing every season, and they're trying to take a look through them to see who could be the next ones to come into the NFL. So it's not an easy task to get yourself separated and noticed, but you can do it.
Thank you so much for coming on. It is actually time for us to take a commercial break. Are you able to stay with us till after the break for a couple of more questions?
Certainly. I'll spend another second with you. How's that?
All right. So that's so great. We're going to come right back with Gary Reasons for more. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to Around the Block.
Black Start Network is here. Oh, no punch!
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
Hey, Mom.
Hey, honey. What's all this?
I had McDonald's money.
Oh.
Get one favorite like 10-piece chicken McNuggets or a quarter pounder with cheese and get another for just $1 right now at McDonald's.
From now on, it's all about us. Starting a family, buying a car, our first home.
They told you to open an account, then turned you away. They said, come back when you're ready. You said, we're ready now.
I know we're going to make it.
Hope makes it happen. Thousands of your neighbors, many who never had a bank account before, improved their lives with Hope Credit Union. You can too. Brighter futures begin with Hope.
See those people right there? Mm-hmm. When they get inside and find out this place doesn't serve food, they're gonna wish they had done this.
Facts.
Get one favorite like a Big Mac or quarter pounder with cheese and get another for just $1 right now at McDonald's.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Around the Block Live. We are here with a special guest, former NFL linebacker with the New York Giants, a 2-time Super Bowl champion, College Football Hall of Fame inductee, and of course, the host of FCS Delivered. Thank you so much for coming on, Gary Reasons.
It's my pleasure, guys. Enjoying the show here.
Hey, Gary, I got a question. So my entire family went to HBCU, so I've been kind of watching FCS football all my life. But what would you say to people who really don't watch FCS football? What would you say to persuade them, to let them know that, hey, it's good football that's being played in the FCS?
Well, definitely there is. And there's programs. I go to college campuses every single week. And really, I've been on college campus every Saturday in the fall for 30 years. So I have seen good. I have seen bad. I can talk about practices. I can talk about coaching. I can talk about structure. And really, structure is really at the key of these things. And really what is happening now at the FCS level, it is so competitive at all of the FCS programs, and not just the HBCU schools, because the HBCUs are sprinkled into the FCS, but they actually have their own little focus to how they end the season, so to speak. You're going to get an HBCU national champion at that end of it, but some of them still could get into the FCS playoffs because of how the system works, and so that's an opportunity to be had. But the competition is so good. These players are just a hair smaller, perhaps, than they would want at a big FBS school, or a smidge not as quick or fast. But really, I don't see that as a big difference at all whatsoever. And you're seeing every single year opportunities where FBS programs are defeated by FCS schools. Yeah. And I think that those are things that are saying, hey, there's enough talent here. And I try to explain to people all the time, being from an FCS school, that the only difference that I see in the game is the scholarship level. At an FBS level, you're allowed 85 scholarships. At the FCS level, it's only 63 scholarships. So right. You've just got to make up something there. Somehow you've got to find it. What I find in broadcasting college football all these years is that at the FBS schools, I think that the overall speed of the team and the talent depth is where you have a little more advantage. And at the FCS programs, you're going to have great talent. You're going to have some great players, but you may not have as many. So somehow you've got to pull all those together and get those wins. But it is a great brand of football. I call it the best kept secret FCS is the best kept secret from partners and sponsors and brands because, they're not marketing yet to that. I'm addressing that in a little bit of a way with what we're doing with FCS on campus and bringing some partners into the fold. But I think it's a great opportunity for brands and partners to join us to really share out all the communities that play FCS football, including the HBCU universities.
Awesome. Gary, you actually just led right into something that I wanted to ask. I wanted to talk about visibility. I absolutely love what stats and what you guys are doing with the weekly awards, because I think this is something we talked about it on our show the other night. Just this is something a little different. I know you say you've been doing it for quite some time, but what are some of the things you think that FCS programs can do to enhance their visibility? I know what you're doing is it definitely helps. But what are some of those things that you feel that FCS programs can do to help themselves from a visibility standpoint, marketability, so forth and so on?
It really comes down to being kind of unique. And, in the last couple of years, that all FCS programs have now created their own on-campus media departments. And they've had to do this because of the adoption of all of the universities were given the ability to put their programming on ESPN Plus and other partners. So Urban Edge Network has a partnership with HBCU schools, and there's different formulas there. But there's a way to bring programming to air all across the country, all across the world. And that's how I think if you can create a great program and a great delivery of your sports content, that can be very, very unique. I get excited about HBCU schools, not so much what's going on in the first half and the second half, but oftentimes we're talking about halftime. That might be where the most excitement is for most visitors to the game. And really, the HBCU crowds are awesome. 30,000+ going to see these college football games. That's tremendous. And so there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of fanfare. There's a lot to like about the product overall, and really the talent. It's just as good as the FBS guys. So hopefully that answered your question.
Absolutely. So. You're on mute, brother.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question, okay? When you see somebody like myself who's been in the NFL, broadcaster, all this, going to the HBCU schools and other FCS universities, what do you see that as, and how do you perceive that?
I'll take a stab at it real quick. I really love the video. Anytime we're in a digital age now where information is shared so rapidly, people are attached to their devices. What it does do, especially with a Jackson State, we feel like we are the standard when it comes to media and driving engagement. It just shows that we're visible. We've kind of been forgotten about, that's how we feel sometimes where we tend from a national visibility standpoint. But when we see that happening, and not just for Jackson State, but for the HBCU brands that are around, we know because we pay attention to it. There's kind of been a disconnect between the FCS side of things and HBCU. But in actuality, there's a lot of people, believe it or not, that may not really understand that HBCUs are actually FCS schools. So when you start to connect the dots and see HBCUs in a part of the conversation, I thought it was a great thing, man. I mean, how awesome is it for you to put another school on display? And now what's going to happen, Gary, I think, is you're going to see teams really start to try to go out and compete because they want that recognition. They want that visibility. They want that visitation, and they want your audience to be connected to their brand and their fan base.
Yeah, I'll piggyback off Ken. Like Gary, someone like you've seen it at the highest level. And for you to come to Jackson State University, I think it's a great thing. Because, Gary, you could be doing so many other things, but you're shining a light on HBCUs like Jackson State and other FCS programs. I love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love to be a part of that, and I really just feel it from inside of my heart because it gave me so much to start my career. And I think it's a launching pad for every athlete, and really the takeaways from the collegiate experience. They're not everybody's going to make it to the National Football League or the NBA or those kinds of things, but it's that camaraderie. It's those team things that you learn from that university, and really the things that you're going to take and become the man that you are or the woman that you are in sports. And it's going to make you, a better person. So I think there's a lot of takeaways from sports that we can all learn from. And it's kind of a part of our development process, who we become, who we are. And we're all going to go down different paths. And, mine's just kind of been in sports and media. And now I have a chance to go and share my story with a lot of people across the country. And I just enjoy doing that. And I think it's worthwhile for me. And I'm glad you guys are enjoying the ride with us.
Hey, Gary, let me ask you a football question. What games do you have your eye on this weekend in the FCS?
You know what? I think the Tigers versus the Tigers is an interesting one. This one here is got some little bit of metal to it. I think that it's a game that it's been played a long time. It's been since 1956, I think, was the last one. And Jackson State's kind of had the upper hand of late, but that may not happen this year. Both teams right now, I think, are playing very, very good defensively, and so I think it's going to be more of a defensive struggle than most people see in this game. It might be low scoring, but big plays are typically going to be the case in a game like this. And I don't think there's going to be an empty seat in the house.
We're anticipating a sellout, man. And Gary, fun fact: this is about me. I've never been to Grambling in my life. I've never been to the Hole. I've been true Blue JSU Tiger all my life. I traveled, but for some strange reason, when I really started to travel, I never got a chance to go because of they had to come to us for quite a while. And I'm excited about this weekend because I get to see what everybody else has experienced, and that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I've gone through Grambling a little bit, and it's an experience. And with all the legacy that the Robinson family has left on football, with how many lives that Coach Rob has touched, and really across the country, across generations, it's really something to behold. And we celebrate that every single year when we do our FCS National Awards, because we hand out our Doris Robinson FCS Scholar Athlete of the Year Award. We hand out the Eddie Robinson Award. The Tiger brand is really iconic, and really what they've been able to put together for so long. And you guys now at Jackson State are just right there with them, if not a step up, or just right there. I think it's all pretty close. So I think this is a great game this weekend, and may the best Tiger win.
Thank you so much. Your acknowledgement of HBCU players, it helps elevate the profile of these programs. You are bringing much needed attention, and you have the potential to influence the media and the broader sports community to taking a closer look at the talent at these schools that can have a lasting impact on recruitment and exposure. It's breaking a barrier for FCS Delivered and for Stats Perform and HBCU Plus to bridge together to engage with the HBCUs. We thank you for coming on to our show. Everybody, Gary Reasons.
Gary, thank you so much, man.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's been a lot of fun.
Hey, I'll say this before you get out, Gary. If any of your NFL former colleagues that are scouting in the scout department of any of those teams, tell them to come to Jackson. We got some talent over there on the roster.
I think you're right. I think there is a little talent there. I saw it on display on the practice field the other day, and wow.
Awesome stuff. We're going to continue to follow you. Thank you so much, Gary.
Thank you, Gary.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for coming in.
That was a great interview. That's our first special guest on our show. What did you guys think?
Awesome.
Absolutely enjoyed it, man.
So it is.
Now that means that you're gonna have to maintain the standard. Now you can't start that high and then
right. It only goes up from here around the block. So we're getting ready to take a break, but it's game of the week. Jackson State Tigers versus the Grambling Tigers, and we have our Zoe's SWAC legacy look back. After these messages, I'm ready to talk about this game. We'll see you right after the break.
Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punch! I'm real revolutionary right now.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
Hey, Mom.
Hey, honey. What's all this?
I had McDonald's money.
Oh.
Get one favorite like 10-piece chicken McNuggets or a quarter pounder with cheese and get another for just $1 right now at McDonald's.
From now on, it's all about us. Starting a family, buying a car, our first home.
They told you to open an account, then turned you away. They said, come back when you're ready. You said, we're ready now.
I know we're going to make it.
Hope makes it happen. Thousands of your neighbors, many who never had a bank account before, improved their lives with Hope Credit Union. You can too. Brighter futures begin with hope.
See those people right there? Mm-hmm. When they get inside and find out this place doesn't serve food, they're gonna wish they had done this.
Facts.
Get one favorite like a Big Mac or quarter pounder with cheese and get another for just $1 right now at McDonald's.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
And we are back around the block. We have a special segment. And of course, that segment is Zoe's SWAC Legacy Look Back. It's the game of the week, Jackson State versus Grambling. I'm going to go ahead and turn the floor over to Zoe.
So look, when we talk about Grambling, the G-Men versus Blue Bengals of Jackson State University. Look, we start off with the biggest blue bloods in all of HBCU sports. So we think of these 2 institutions. The first thing come to mind is Eddie Robinson. After that, you got Big John Merritt, you got Bob Hill, you got W.C. Gordon. But then there's things to note that Grambling and Jackson State both came into the SWAC in the same year in 1958. And since that time, those 2 schools have dominated this conference. Grambling's won 26 SWAC titles. Jackson State's won 18. When you talk about Black College National Championships, the 2 of them combined for 19 Black College National Championships. You know, Grambling in that time frame has 121 NFL draft picks. Jackson State has 102. Since that time, since they joined the conference, Jackson State has 4 first-round draft picks. Grambling has 6. Jackson State has the last 2 first-round draft picks of any FCS or HBCU opponent in the year 2000. Grambling is one of only 2 HBCUs to have the number 1 overall pick. Matter of fact, there's only been 2 FCS number 1 overall picks, and both came from HBCUs, one from Tennessee State and one from Grambling. Also, no pair of HBCUs playing college football can boast that they've had 10 or more prospects that were drafted into the NFL draft played in the game. So just think about that when you give it context of saying you're going to have 10 players drafted into the league in 1 game. You rarely get that in the SEC. You only got that whenever Jackson State played Grambling. No other 2 HBCUs can even vouch for that. And both institutions have 4 Hall of Famers. You know what I'm saying? With the possibility of adding more. And here's a crazy stat that it really brings it to shine about these 2 teams. From 1961 through 1998, every single season, there was a player drafted from either Grambling or Jackson State. Crazy. Crazy, right? So when we talk about the magnitude of blue bloods, and we talk about players getting into the NFL, this is the creme de la creme. The only other institution that could even come in and have a voice or really an argument into this is Tennessee State. So when we talk about the bluest of the blue bloods, it reigns supreme within this game. And so again, we don't have to speak to Eddie Robinson. We talk about those 121 draft picks. Eddie Robinson sent over 200 players to the NFL. You know, their first acclaimed player was Tank Younger, who wasn't drafted, signed a free agent deal back in 1948 or 1949, somewhere on there, and had a prominent career, who just so happened to be the first NFL scout. There was a lawyer that I can't think of the scout's name. I think it was Bill Nunn, who actually came out with the Steelers back in the day, and guys were actually recruiting players to the NFL. He was like, man, you guys don't know talent. Let me take you down to this Grambling-Jackson State game, and I'm going to show you some talent. And that was way back, I believe, like in about 1963 or 1964, one of those draft classes. But, man, when we talk about the creme de la creme of black college football, when we talk about the true essence of the pride, the pageantry, and the luster and the lore of black college football, you're going to get that in the hole this weekend. Sold-out crowd, energy through the roof, black excellence at its best, with all the pedigree and tradition that goes along with it. You're going to get it in this game. That's Zoe's swag legacy look back.
Just like Zoe always do. Big game, man. Big game. It's good to be on the up and up, to have the last couple of games that's won. I don't think anyone will argue anything when it comes to the golden standard from the, I mean, you go back to the 50s all the way up into today, 70, 60, 70 plus years back. I still think, like I said, Eddie Robinson is the greatest college football coach to ever coach in the history of the sport. There's no debate. I know a lot of people want to, before the situation with Sandusky, I know a lot of people want to talk about Joe Pa, but I think even Joe Pa tell you that, Eddie Robinson is the GOAT, when it comes to that and what he was able to do. He's also instrumental in having, what he didn't do is he never left Grambling. He stayed all the way up until almost really to his end. And that's why I said it feels like from what I've been told, it seems like his spirit hovers over that stadium. So we got to go overcome that we know they're gonna be ready to rock and roll this Saturday. This is the hottest game, man. Listen, we wanted this for Southern, but I think this is a prelude to the SWAC championship game. I really do. I think Grambling wins the West, Jackson State wins the East. Hey, man, let's go see what we can do down there this weekend. It's going to be the game of the week, Jackson State versus Grambling State. And may the best team and band win. I got Jackson State on both of them.
I got Jackson State winning this game for a multitude of reasons. But to echo Ken's statement, I think this is a SWAC championship game preview. I really, really do. But also, I'm actually glad that this game is in the hole. I honestly believe that no matter what Grambling looks like, whenever Jackson State can be Southern, Grambling, and FAMU in the same season, it's going to bode well for success of that season. And so if you have all three on your schedule, if you win all three, a byproduct of having a successful season is going to happen. And so we've checked off one. Now we're headed to Louisiana to attempt to check off the other one. And again, I believe this is a SWAC championship game preview, as well as it's a good non-conference game, but can we, as you mentioned, the spirit of Eddie Robinson hovers over the stadium. Well, what better way to break a curse than to do it twice? Because we're on the current 2-game winning streak against Grambling, but the last time we played them in the spring season, we beat them. So again, what a way! Everything creates an opportunity, and so we can actually have a 2-game winning streak in a whole. What better opportunity than now to do
it? Let me ask you guys this right quick. Since it's a non-conference game, what if JSU runs through the SWAC undefeated and Grambling runs through the SWAC undefeated? What's the second tiebreaker? Is it points?
Overall record.
Overall record.
Yep.
Okay.
Well,
So this could.
But being it's a non-conference game, this will not be included in a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Well, it can. If it. So, for example, the third metric.
Okay.
Head to head.
That's only
I know it's a unique situation because let's say both teams are 8-0 in the SWAC, just hypothetically speaking, and both teams finish. Well, there's no way they can both be 8. Well, they can. They can. So non-conference after this game is going to be 8 games after that. I think it's going to go to the best record. There won't be, because we win against each other, you won't even have to do head-to-head because it wouldn't matter. Because as of right now, whoever finishes this game with an L is going to be 2-2. So if you win out, you're 10-2, and if the other team wins out, they're going to be 11-1. So they're going to go with the best record.
Right. So Jackson State and Grambling, it's interesting that we talk about breaking that crazy, I guess, thing that goes down in the hole, because the last time that we met them, we did beat them 66-24. That was a very dominant win in 2022. Of course, as Zoe stated, we have lots and lots of history tied between the two football programs. But earlier we talked about Miles Crawley yesterday, and we talked about Miles Crawley, and then we also talked about Jacobian Morgan, which it could be Jacobian Morgan, it could be Cam McCoy. But if we're just taking Jackson State's quarterback versus Miles Crawley, what do you guys attribute that offensive matchup to look like in a head-to-head situation?
Well, in a head-to-head situation, I actually have to call it like what it is. It wouldn't be Jacobian versus Miles Crawley. It'll be Jacobian versus Grambling defense and vice versa. And when we look at and we put it in that context, Tamona, Grambling is not good against the run. And so, and also, as Ken stated, previously, they're starting 3 freshmen on that line. We have a veteran defensive front. We have a strong front 7, and we're going to run the ball. And not only are we going to run the ball successfully, we don't have a 2-headed monster or even a 3-headed monster. We got a 7-headed monster. There's nothing else like it on the planet. It's a 7-headed monster. And so it's going to pound you. And again, if you can't stop the run against Jackson State, you're in a world of trouble. And so to flip that, when you talk about Miles Crawley, again, it's what we do on the back end. And I believe we match up pretty well with them. And again, our front's going to get to them. So it'll be what they do to circumvent that.
I believe that they're going to definitely game plan they're going to definitely emphasize the run, stopping the run at practice this week. They're already doing that. They know they gave up. They know they got gashed pretty bad. Mm-hmm. They know that Jackson State has a really good run game. So I expect them to scheme defensively in a way where they say we're going to take away Jackson State's run and we're going to make Jackson State beat us on the pass. That's if that's the strategy, because as of right now, from a running game standpoint, that means that their strength would be on their backside with their DBs, who host right at about I think they have 6 or 7 interceptions right now, if I'm not mistaken. No, they have 7 on the year. Mm-hmm. 1 interception against UL, 2 interceptions against Tuskegee's, 4 interceptions against this Texas A&M Commerce. Even though the linebacker did score, did grab an interception. What I'm making is they feel like they have something strong on the back end and then weakness on the front end. So I definitely expect them to heavily emphasize the run, which I think you got to pick your poison. I think we're gonna beat Grambling through the air this time around. The run game, we're not gonna abandon it, but I think we're gonna really test those DBs. They start 3 freshman DBs as well. They're playing pretty solid. But at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to which coach puts together the best game plan, which team doesn't beat themselves, and who can rattle each other's quarterback the most. I think the quarterbacks are the two of the 3 best in the conference, and regardless of who gets on the field. So that's kind of where we are with that. But I expect Coach Mickey Joseph and staff to game plan to stop Jackson State's running game and rebound from last week.
And looking at Tigers in the SWAC, when we look at the Grambling State notes, Jackson State is 1st in completion percentage in the SWAC, 2nd in 3rd down conversions, 1st in 3rd down conversion point defense, percentage defense. So basically holding the opposition from getting their 3rd down conversions. We're ranked 1st in the SWAC. We also are ranked 2nd in fewest penalties, 2nd in fewest penalties per game, 2nd in blocked kicks, second in blocked punts. We have a lot of first and seconds over here in the offense and defense. In red zone offense, we're ranked first. Sacks allowed, first. Scoring defense, second. Scoring offense, first. Team passing efficiency, first. So we have a lot of ones and twos.
But here's the thing that's glaring. Red zone defense is terrible. We're the last in the conference. So what we're showing is that if you get in the red zone on us, you score.
You score, yeah.
And that's something that we got to change.
Yes, and I think that when we attribute that to is because they haven't been scoring on us that much. If we look at the amount of points per game,
also when they get in the red zone too. Yeah, you're right.
They we have Matt Knoll on our team, and he flips the field for us. So one of the that's a glaring stat right there. But one of the things that we also have to take into account is the number of times that people are actually able to even get to the red zone. That's far few and in between, if we want to look at it that way.
Also, third down is going to be important down for both teams because Grambling went like 3 for 14 last week on third down. So you got to be able to convert some first downs against that Tiger defense, the Jackson State Tiger defense. What I'm trying to say.
I mean, the highest passing efficiency in the league.
I was going to say the main thing is we don't give up 17 points a game though, so that's not that bad.
How true is this, man? This is magnificent. Haven't lost any fumbles. Our net punting speaks to Matt Knoll. Red zone offense. Shout out to Coach TC because we sucked at some point in time in the red zone.
We did.
Number 1 in sacks allowed, bro. Shout out to that big offensive line.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that stat.
Team passing efficiency, number 1. I mean, you're right, Timon. A lot of number 1s there. You know what I'm saying? But hey,
overall in the SWAC, it's actually we're number 1 in offense. Let me go ahead and check that statistic as of today. But as of today, or the last time they updated it, and it still reigns supreme, Jackson State is first in overall offense. So when you do the cumulative of all the various stats, and then we are second in defense, only behind Alabama State.
That's only behind us. We did it to ourselves, family. Yes, we did. I know. I'm teasing. Yeah, Alabama State definitely. That game against Samford was a really good defensive outing.
Right.
12 points, no tugs. So, hey.
So after the break, we're going to go ahead and give our prediction numbers. We're going to predict the final score between Grambling and Jackson State. Thank you once again for tuning in to Around the Block. Stay tuned after these messages.
From now on, it's all about us. Starting a family, buying a car. From now on, it's all about us. Starting a family, buying a car, our first home.
They told you to open an account, then turned you away. They said, come back when you're ready. You said, we're ready now.
I know we're going to make it.
Hope makes it happen. Thousands of your neighbors, many who never had a bank account before, improved their lives with Hope Credit Union. You can too. Brighter futures begin with Hope.
Where could reinvention take your business? Accenture, let there be change.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, honey. What's all this?
I had McDonald's money.
Oh.
Get one favorite like 10-piece Chicken McNuggets or a Quarter Pounder with cheese and get another for just $1 right now at McDonald's.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us. This is an opportunity for us to be able to speak to our issues. Y'all better understand something real quick. We ain't going nowhere. It is a continual battle that we see all across this country. Revolution will not be televised. The revolution will be streamed.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
He makes sure that our stories are told.
Roland Martin's doing this every day.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
And we are back for the final segment of our show. And that, of course, is none other than the prediction piece with our scores. Who wants to go first with their final score and who they feel like they're going to win? I don't think anybody over here is going to pick one side of the Tiger side. So
I'm going to go Jackson State 38-17.
Ooh. I saw what you did there. He's pretty much staying on average. I saw what you're doing there.
I went a little over, though. A little over.
But
I think we get a field goal out of there, but mostly touchdowns.
I'm gonna actually have it a little bit closer than that. I think we win. I think we win by a score of, man, I'm gonna say 31-13.
Is that closer?
So based off of
31-13 in favor of the JSU Tigers from Lynch Street.
Ain't no mystery. Ain't no mystery.
This is a close game. Originally, I had it like 17-14, but after a little bit more thought, I'm gonna go 21-10 JSU Tigers.
Whew, man. Okay.
I'm going to lean on our defense. I feel like they're going to be able to make those defensive stops. I feel like it's not going to be close at all. I'm going to go 10-45. 45-10 Jackson State University. We are going to be punching up those numbers, dialing it up this week. Let's go, TC. I feel like he's going to open up the playbook. We're going to get we're going to get it up in the air for Tillian, McCray. All of them are going to bring it down. And I just feel like it's going to be a dominant performance. Tiger versus Tiger situation. And I feel like we're going to dominate in the air and on the ground.
You know, hey, listen, I hope you're right, Timona.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
I'm rooting that Timona be the star of Saturday. You know what I mean? So no, I just think Jackson State is just has a better, more complete team. I think they have less holes to fill than Grambling does, and I think in games like this, those holes show up. You can't. I mean, I don't think I ain't gonna say that I don't think they did, but UL kind of air attacked them. You know what I mean? They were throwing the ball a good little bit. Texas A&M Commerce was really even Tuskegee was throwing the ball a good little bit. They still got 100 yards on the ground, but Jackson State has proven mainly to be a more 60-40 run over pass right now. I don't know if that changes, but I see us getting some turnovers, man. We get some turnovers. We get some more opportunities to score, get some creative ways to score. I think we can get a little bit over our average. I don't know if we hit the 40 mark, but we can definitely do it.
Well, I tell you what, I think in every game that Jackson State plays this year, I think Jackson State is really going to show its quality of depth in more ways than one. I think it's really going to reveal itself in this game. I also, because I always like to use example, and it showed itself in the game against Southern last week, and that is, they're depending on Miles Crawley, but with the way our pass rush is set up, Just again, knock on wood, but just giving an example. Miles Crowley goes down with injury. What does that look like for Grambling? You know what I mean? And again, you don't to a team within the HBCU landscape. I'm telling you, no one has the roster that Jackson State has, and that's the thing. And it speaks to the level of recruiting that we've actually had. So we're talking about, going deep.
Yeah, absolutely right, Zoe. I think so. I think you're right. I know. Get that background noise. That was smooth with it. But I'll say this right here, man. It's gonna come down to who wins the turnover battle. I mean, they won the turnover battle last game, and but at the same time, I think we haven't really turned the ball over much. If we continue to, Jackson State continues to keep the ball out of harm's way, take care of the football, don't do the small things to beat yourself. Hey, man, this should be a pretty good day at the office, man. Now, we are on the road. We haven't won on the road this year. We still got to take it to the road. We defended home field pretty well. And we got to go out there and show them what we can do. So I like it. I like our chances. Make sure we're hydrated. We're not cramping up very much so. I think the weather's going to be a lot more favorable when the sun go down. But yet and still, I think we have some opportunities to really explore some serious matchups in this game. I'm not afraid of that D-line simply because ULM had the better D-line.
Yeah.
And we stabilized them pretty well. So I think our O-line is going to continue to do so. We got the best O-line in the league right now. And you're going to have to come at us and you got to beat us. You're going to have to beat Jackson State. There would be we're not beating ourselves anymore. I don't see that happening, or, I don't see us facing a team that just has what it takes to really just continuously, and unless we just screwing up the whole game. Of course, there's always equalizers that transpire, but man, we just got the right recipe right now. And I think 3 games in, we've seen a constant amount of improvement. I also said this, and I shut up. 4-game sample size, man. This is going to be the telltale sign. This is going to tell us who we really are. After 4 games, 33% of the season is pretty much complete. 2 road games, 2 home games, 2 rivalries, 1 D2, 1 FBS school. You know who you are after Saturday, and hopefully we can come out of this bad baby 3-1 as we get prepared to head over to Houston, Texas, to take over that stadium next.
And that's the thing about it, is so much versatility. And with our offense and our defense, you really just don't know which way we're coming, right? Especially at the offensive key pieces. We don't know. We could start Cam. We could start Jacobian. It's up in the air. I think that one thing that Coach TC is able to do offensively is to keep other teams on their toes. So you don't know if we're going to hit the ground attack, or you don't know if we're going to put it in the air. And I think that type of versatility can cause problems with the defense. Defensively for Jackson State, one thing that I do like that they do on the line is when they adjust, right? The other offense gets caught off guard with Jackson State's front switching, turning around, doing a little 1-2 step before the ball is hiked. And we saw versus Southern how that actually caused them to have back-to-back false starts for Southern. And so I'm expecting for some of those great defensive play callings as well to basically muddy the waters for Miles Crowley and cause some confusion on his offensive line as well. I'm excited for the matchup. I think it's great to be able to see this. And of course, we know that Jackson State Tigers are going to take over that stadium. So it's going to be kind of a home away from home. And the boom is coming. They made their announcement that they hadn't been to Grambling in quite some time. So I know it's going to be a great
7 years.
event. How many?
7 years.
Yeah. So home away from home.
And listen, man, last time we were there, it was the first season of our previous coach, Coach Prime, running back for Grambling by the name of Keelan Elder, fumbled at the goal line.
I remember that.
Appreciate that. Shout out to my boy Keontae Hampton and Aubrey Miller, who made the play
Yep.
at the goal line to win it, and it gave Coach his first win. So it was pretty special.
And all right. So that concludes our show. We've done our predictions. Now it ain't nothing to it but to do it. So go Tigers. Thank you for tuning in around the block.
Everybody going to the game?
No, I'm not going.
Word.
I'm doing yeah. No, I won't be there in the hole. Not this year. Not this year. I won't be at the hole. I'll be there in spirit and in truth.
Hey, make sure you tune in. ESPN Plus.
Now you know we're gonna be tuned in.
Eastern Standard Time, man. I mean, listen, Jackson State versus Grambling. What else could you ask for, man?
And that is the episode. And we will see you guys back here on Monday for our game recap. So make sure that you follow us on all platforms. Go ahead and shout out your social media, guys.
KC1400MG, IG, and Twitter /X. KC1400MG.
All social media platforms of Phillips 1400.
Mine's simple. The Mike Reed Show on all social media platforms.
And of course, you can find me at She Loves Thee. There's an underscore between the loves and the thee. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and you can also find me and catch me on YouTube. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a blessed Friday afternoon.
Go Tigers. JSU, that is. See, I love
what he said.
Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punch! I'm real revolutionary right now.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
Hey, Mom.
Hey, honey. What's all this?
I had McDonald's money.
Oh.
Get one favorite like 10-piece chicken McNuggets or a quarter pounder with cheese and get another for just $1 right now at McDonald's.
From now on, it's all about us. Starting a family, buying a car, our first home.
They told you to open an account, then turned you away. They said, come back when you're ready. You said, we're ready now.
I know we're going to make it.
Hope makes it happen. Thousands of your neighbors, many who never had a bank account before, improved their lives with Hope Credit Union. You can too. Brighter futures begin with hope.
See those people right there? Mm-hmm. When they get inside and find out this place doesn't serve food, they're gonna wish they had done this. Facts.
Get one favorite like a Big Mac or quarter pounder with cheese and get another for just $1 right now at McDonald's.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.